Hello, today we will discuss about Huffman coding, which is followed by greedy method. Huffman coding is a compression technique. It is used for reducing the data or message. Suppose you want to store the data in a file in a compressed form to reduce the size of a file. When the data sent over a network, data can be compressed and sent to reduce the cost of transmission. In this part we know about if a normal message will be sent, what is the cost, what is the fixed size encoding, and what is variable size encoding. Variable size encoding is mainly Huffman coding. Example, so now a message is taken, and if I stored in a file or send it in a network, so what will be the cost of a message or size of a message. So message is there, here the message total 20 letter will be there, and so the length of the message is 20. Now the message will send by ASCII code. ASCII codes means American Standard Code for Information Interchange, because electronic device or computer all use ASCII code for character or English alphabet. And ASCII code are 8 bits, and ASCII codes are 8 bits. ASCII means 8 bits. So message will be 20 letters, or message size is 20. So in this diagram or picture, total 5 type of alphabet is there, and there have different ASCII code is there. So here A, B, C, D, E, these alphabets will be taken, and each have different ASCII value. So A value is 65, and their binary form of alphabet is total 8 bits. So 0 1 0 0 0 0 0 1. So like that others also be ASCII value is different, and there have an total 8 bits binary form. So in this picture you see total 20 alphabet is there. So for normal sending the message, total number of bits will be 20 into 8, so 160 bits. So the size of the message is 160 bits. It is the simple message sending part without encoding. So now we can think to use own code rather than ASCII code, because in this diagram or picture only 5 character is used. So here not need to 8 bits for all 5 character. Few bits are sufficient for representation. This type is called fixed size encoding. So how it will be possible, shown in a same diagram or picture. So same diagram will be taken message, and here 5 alphabet is there, and individual alphabet count is A will be 3 times, so A is 3, B will be 5 times, so B will be 5, C will be 6 times, so C will be 6, D will be 4 times, so D will be 4, and E will be 2 times, so E will be 2, and each frequency is 20 because the size of the message is 20. So count by frequency is 3 by 20. So here only 5 character or alphabet is there. Here no need to count 8 bits for each alphabet, because 8 bit ASCII code are for 128 character or 128 samples. So let us see how we calculate the code of the fixed size encoding or message. We know that for 1 bit we can represent, right, 0 or 1. Here only 2 character represent. If I have 2 bits, we can represent here 4 combination is there, 0 0 0 1 1 0 and 1 1. But I have 5 alphabet or characters, so there are 3 bits we can represent. So there are 8 bits to 8 combination total is there. So here we can take 5 combination out of the 8 combination. So these are the table, then the table, and here we can code different for our choice. From my choice you can my own decision from the 8 combination for encoding. Here I give 3 bits codes for my own decision from the 8 combination for encoding. So this is the message. Now I use 3 bits code for encoding, and for reduce the size of a message I have written 001 for B and 001 for C, like as we can write down in diagram or picture. If I write the code for individual alphabets to this picture or diagram, then calculate the size of the message. So we know the total character is 20 and each alphabet character is 3 bits, so 20 into 3 is equal to 60 bits. So size of the message is 60 bit. This is the encoding part. But for decoding in this message or sending the message or this shape code, if I retrieve only the code is not necessary, because for A alphabet the code is 3 bits, but this is given by my own choice. Computer or electronics device only know the ASCII value of A, that is 8 bits, and 8 bit ASCII code are for 128 character or 128 sample, but here only choose 5 alphabet or characters. So for decoding you want to know about total table for retrieving the data. So for sending the 5 alphabet, how much size will be take, this is shown in figure, calculate part. So for 5 ASCII alphabet or character, size is 5 into 8, so 40 bits. So for each 3 bits code size is 5 into 3 bits, so 15 bits. So total size of the table is character size plus code size, so 40 bits plus 15 bits, so is equal to 55 bits. So we know total size of the message is 60 bits, 20 into 3 60 bits, so total size of the message along with the table is 55 bits plus 60 bits is equal to 115 bits. So we can reduce the bits in fixed size encoding, and then rather than normal size encoding. So here we can reduce the size of the normal sending message is 160 bits to 115 bits. This is done by fixed size encoding. Now we go to variable size code and follow Huffman coding for same example or picture or diagram. So here the same message will be there, and we can create a table which have alphabet, 5 alphabet is there, and their count also be there. So we can don't know the code, so we want to the code. Now here we see Huffman code follow optimal merge pattern. All the alphabets should arrange in increasing order from their count. So we can do merge the smallest one or pair of two like greedy method. So at first merge 2 and 3 and get node 5, which is shown in diagram. This again we search from the remaining part which one is smallest, then merge them 2. So here we merge new 5 node with so this is the picture. So merge them 2, and so here we merge new 5 node with the 4, then the result come new node 9. You can also merge next node next to 4 and 5 also. Here 4 and 5 also you can merge, but here we merge this pattern because their value is same. So then again we check which one is the smallest from the remaining part. Then we merge 5 and 6, we get new node 11. Then we merge 9 and 11 and we get new node 20. So the next left hand side adjacent marked by 0, here we show in diagram, and right hand side marked by 1, here we show in diagram. So now count the code of each alphabet by the marking, then the result come for A 001, for B 10, and for C 11, and for D 01, and for E 000. So here we can see that some code is 3 bits or some code is 2 bits. So it is the variable size code. Now we use this code for encoding the message like that. Message is this, and here we can implement this code 2 bit and 3 bit also. So if I use the code, the size of the message is count each alphabet into individual code appearing bits. So A is equal to 3 into 3 is equal to 9, B is equal to 5 into 2 10, and C is equal to 6 into 2 12, and D is equal to 4 into 2 8, and E is equal to 2 into 3 6. So total number of bits are 45 bits. So the size of the message is 45 bits. So for decoding, now you count table or chart or tree also for sending the message or for retrieving the data from the shape code. So now same way ASCII code of the individual alphabet is 8 bits. So here total 5 alphabet or character is there. So 5 into 8 bits is equal to 40 bits. Because for decoding we always the original code original alphabet value means ASCII value always you can count and then measure it, and then calculate table and also message together, then we can get the original size. Now for 5 character individual code is there. So if I count the total code, then it is 12 bits, because A have 3 bits, B have 2 bits, C have 2 bits, and D have 2 bits, and E have 3 bits. So total size of the table or tree is character size plus code size. So 40 bits plus 12 bits, so is equal to 52 bits. So total size of the message along with table is 45 bits plus 52 bits is equal to 97 bits. So it's still reduced from fixed size coding and normal size coding also by Huffman coding. So at first normal size coding, which value is given 160 bits, then for fixed size bits it will be reduced by 115 bits, and then by variable size bits we can get, or Huffman coding, by Huffman coding you can get 97 bits. It can now again reduce, so it is the better. Note that if you want to size of the message that 45 bits, you want to know by tree also, that is shown in figure, each individual alphabet frequency into each individual alphabet distance up to root node. So sum of di into fi, di means each individual alphabet distance up to root node, and fi means each individual alphabet frequency. So this is the formula for knowing the message size by tree. So 3 into 2 plus 3 into 3 plus 2 into 4 plus 2 into 5 plus 2 into 6 is equal to 45 bits. So now we our next topic is Prim and Kruskal algorithm, which is also followed by greedy method. At first you know minimum cost spanning tree. At first you understand this part of graph. Here we can take a graph here where the vertices are 1 2 3 4 5 6 and edges are 1 2 2 3 3 4 4 5 5 6 and 6 1. So V for number of vertices in graph and E for number of edges in the graph. So next you can know about what is spanning tree. It is a subgraph of a graph, means I should take subsets of graphs. So here vertices and edges both are subsets or only one subset. So I take edges for subsets, and vertices are same as like as in normal graph, which is given in picture or diagram. So the graph look like 1 2 3 4 5 6, but 1 and 6 not connected. So this is called spanning tree. Number of vertices V is equal to or n is equal to 6, and number of vertices minus 1 is equal to n minus 1 is equal to 5. So here edges is total 5. In this spanning tree or subgraph, 5 edges will be there and vertices are unchanged, and this is same like as graph, normal graph, which is shown in figure. So spanning tree is a subgraph of a graph that have all vertices but only n minus 1 edges, means the tree have no cycle. So we can say that Cj S is the subgroup of a graph G. So S V dash E dash, A is defined as set of vertices V and set of edges E. So V dash is equal to V means where set of vertices V are same as a set of vertices of graph. So here E dash is equal to V minus 1. So here edges are number of vertices minus 1. So another part of spanning tree is, here we can draw same graph and another type of spanning tree. Here the 4 and 3 and 4 are not 4 and 5 are not connected in this spanning tree. So here graph total is edges is 6, and the subgraph of spanning tree, here edges is vertices of graph minus 1. So here edges will be come 5, and so up to 6 edges I select only 5 edges, so is equal to 6. So I have 6 different spanning tree can draw with this graph. Then next is parties. But if the graph have one edges or adjacent is more and look like as, so here graph is like another graph will be draw. Here another adjacent we can add or edges we can add, then this graph is like picture will be shown like this. So here the spanning tree also different. So here spanning tree also this type. So here edges will be, the graph edges will be 7 and graph vertices will be 6. So in spanning tree the edges will become graph edges C v minus 1 graph x vertex. So c 6 7 c 6 minus 1, so 7 c 5. So here edges will be 5. So here 2 cycle is forming in this graph, and the number of vertices is less than 6. So here 2 cycle is coming, because 1 2 3 5 6 this is another part, and 3 4 5 this is another part. So 2 cycle will be coming, and the number of vertices is less than 6. You can see in figure. Now I have draw a graph where edges or adjacent are weight. So it is called weighted graph. So it's look like this type. So 1 2 3 4 this type of graph, and here 5 2 3 6 these are weighted, and 1 4 4 3 2 3 and 2 1 this is our edges of this graph. Now I draw few possible spanning tree or subgraphs from the graph. It's look like this type. There are 3 different spanning tree we can draw from this weightage graph. So here b is equal to 4, so e is equal to 4 minus 1 3. So here but here 3 different spanning tree, we see that here vertices and edges are all same, but the weightage of the graph or cost of the spanning tree is different. The first spanning tree will be 14, the next spanning tree will be 13, and another spanning tree will be 9. So here we can observe that cost of the spanning tree is different in every spanning tree or subgraph. So if I sort out the minimum cost spanning tree from a graph, this will take much more time and take lengthy also. So here we apply greedy method to sort out the problem. Now we use 2 methods to sort out the problem. These are Prim's algorithm and Kruskal algorithms, which is followed by greedy method. So at first we look at Prim's algorithm. Here we can draw a graph. So Prim says that you first select the minimum cost edges from the entire graph. So here we minimum cost edges is 6 to 1, that is 10. So here 10 will be the minimum weight of total graph weight, total graph part. So then we search for next one from this graph, but always remember that the next selective edges must be connected with already chosen vertical. So Prim says that you search for next one from this graph, but always remember the next selective edges must be connected, or minimum cost edges must be connected already chosen vertices. So next smallest cost edges is 4 to 3. Here 12 will be the smallest weight, next one, but it is not connected with 1 to 6. That is weight is 10. So it's not taken at all, because it is not form a tree. It's not form a tree. So Prims always try to maintain a tree with minimum cost edges. So next right edges will be 6 to 5. So now then next right edges will be 5 to 4, and now next right edges will be 4 to 3, and now next right edges will be 2 to 3, and now next right edges will be 7 to 2. So now the minimum cost spanning tree comes like that. So now the cost of the weight of the spanning tree is 10, 25, 22, 12 plus 16 plus 14. So total is equal to 99. So note that only from connected graph we have draw spanning tree. Only connected graph can be given as a spanning tree. Not connected graph can be not even draw the spanning tree. So next part will be Kruskal algorithm. The Kruskal algorithm says that always select the minimum cost edges, either the next edges is connected with first edges, first one verticals or not. So same like this Prim's algorithm and in Kruskal algorithm same picture or diagram will be taken, but here Kruskal says that always select the minimum cost edges. So Prims also says same things, but the different is that he says that either the next edges is connected with first one vertices or not. So here minimum cost edges is 1 to 6, that is 10. Now next minimum edges is 3 to 4, that is 12. Now next minimum edges is 7 to 2. Then now next minimum edges will be 3 to 2, that is weightage is 16. The next now minimum edges will be 4 to 7, that is 18, but this edge make a cycle. So Kruskal method says that when it make a cycle, avoid this one. So now the next minimum edges will be 4 to 5, 22. Now the next minimum edges will be 5 to 7, that is weight is 24, but these edges also make cycle, so avoid this one also. So now the next minimum edges will be 5 to 6, that weight is 25. So now the minimum cost spanning tree comes like that. And now the cost of the spanning tree or the weightage of the spanning tree is same, that same result will be coming, that like that Prim's algorithm. Here also coming 99. But so the Prim's and Kruskal algorithm give the same result for a particular graph. Now we discuss about the time taken by Kruskal algorithm is. In Kruskal have always select the minimum cost edges from the graph. So here edges is equal to vertices minus 1 or n minus 1. So the total time is number of vertices into number of edges is equal to theta of vertices into edges. So we know vertices is n, and if we consider edges also n, then it comes like n into n means theta of n square. So the time taken of Kruskal algorithm is n square, but Kruskal algorithm can be improved. When we have to select the minimum cost of edges, then there have a data structure is there who gives us minimum value, that is mean heap. We can use the mean heap. It always gives us a minimum value. If the edges kept in a mean heap, then if we delete one minimum edges from the graph, then we get next minimum value from the mean heap. You have not need to search all the edges values from the graph. So when we delete some edges from mean heap, its time taken is log n. So for the graph we do this for n times. So by using mean heap, the Kruskal time complexity comes like as theta of n log n. So by using mean heap, Kruskal algorithm get faster. Now if there is an example like that, so here is not non-connected graph is having two components. So here spanning tree is not possible for non-connected graph. But if I applied Kruskal algorithm, it's try to find out the total number of edges. Edges will be 9 minus 1 is equal to 8. But it cannot develop spanning tree for entire non-connected graph. But for each component, it may be forming the spanning tree. So Kruskal algorithm may work on also non-connected graph, but in each component individually, not for the entire graph. So now next our next topics will be Dijkstra algorithm. Here also is it's followed by greedy method. Here we can need to single source shortest path. So here we can take an example of a graph. This algorithm used to single source shortest path problem. If the weighted graph is given, you have to find out the shortest path from the starting vertex to all other vertices. Let us say our starting vertex is 1, then I have to find out the shortest path of all of the vertices, maybe the direct path or all other vertices. As we find out the shortest path, so it's a minimization problem, or we can say optimization problem, and optimization problem solved by greedy method also. So here we use greedy method to solve the algorithm. Here we discuss the algorithm some topics wise, part wise. This is how Dijkstra algorithm is works. Dijkstra algorithm can work on directed and non-directed graph. Drawback of Dijkstra algorithm. So first two part we can discuss. So the first two part is Dijkstra algorithm work on approach, and Dijkstra algorithm work on directed and non-directed graph. To show the Dijkstra algorithm, I take an example Another example that is three connected vertices will be there. Here we've taken a graph. So here if I starting vertices is 1 and I want to find out the shortest path to vertices 2 as well as vertices 3, then form vertices 1 to vertices 2 have direct path is there, but and its weight cost also be 2, but from 1 vertices to vertices 3 have no direct path is there, so its distance says infinity because you don't know and no path is there between 1 vertices to vertices 3. So the diagram is like as this type. So if you followed this algorithm first, shortest path vertices will be is 2 because 3 vertices is infinitive. Then we check from the vertices, vertice means first shortest path vertices 2. So there any shortest path to other vertices. So now see in diagram that 2 vertices is connected with vertices 3. So the cost will be 2 plus 4 is equal to 6. So infinitive can change into 6. So it looks like as showing in the diagram. So it means that there have an shortest path between vertices 1 to vertices 3 of distance 6. So it's not a direct path, it's coming through vertices 2 but it's have a path there. So Dijkstra algorithm says that it's first select the shortest path and then it will update that shortest path to other vertices if possible, and the updation is called as relaxation. So let's show how relaxation work in the particular picture or diagram. If I call vertices 2 as u and vertices 3 as v and distance of u is 2 and distance of v is 6, so the cost or weight between two distances is 4. So here relaxation means there have two formulas will be given, that is if du plus cuv less than dv and dv is equal to du plus cuv. So first condition for when the vertices 3 is infinitive, then 2 plus 4 plus is equal to 6 is less than infinitive, it is satisfied. Then next formula is when we modify the vertices 3 and 6, then this condition is used. So we do relaxation for vertices. Whenever we select the shortest path, we will try to relax other vertices. So now follow the procedure or relaxation procedure and solve the weightage graph problem to find out the path. So here the problem will be given, that graph will be given. So here starting vertices 1, so its distance is 0, but vertices 1 to vertices 2 distance is 2 and vertices 1 to vertices 3 distance is 4, but there is no direct connection is between between vertices 1 and 4, vertices 1 and 5 and vertices 1 and 6. So these all path distance are infinitive. These are the initial things in a graph. Now let us calculate the repeating step. For this purpose you have to find out the shortest path between vertices 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So there here vertices 2 distance is small rather than other selective vertices, then select smallest vertices is 2, that is shown in figure. So when we select two vertices, then we perform relaxation, means check who are connected in the graph, then check the distance between them, means here two vertices is connected with two part, one is vertices 2 and vertices 3 and another is vertices 2 and vertices 4. So check each vertex distance by relaxation condition or formula and modify by condition if it is required, so which will shown in figure. So here distance of u is 2 and v is 1, so 3 is less than 4, it's right, so condition satisfied. Then modify the vertices 3 distance 4 modified by 3, same as distance between vertices 2 and vertices 3 vertices 4 is distance of u is 2 and v is 7, so 9 is less than infinitive, it's right, so condition satisfied. Then modify the vertices 4 distance infinitive modified by 9. Now step is repeating. Next select between vertices 3, vertices 5, vertices 4 and vertices 6 according to distance value. So vertices 3 is smallest, so by relaxation only vertices 5 is connected with vertices 3. So now check according to condition and modify them, which is showing in figure. So like that you can calculate the total calculation. And the next last part, now the shortest path from the starting vertex 1 to all other vertices. So it looks like that. And so set of vertices is 2 3 4 5 6, and the distance of individual vertices is 2 3 8 6 9. So now let us know the time complexity of the algorithm. So all vertices in the graph into when doing it relaxation, the vertices in graph, so n into n is equal to n square. So order of n square or theta of n square. So order of n square, or you can say theta of n square, is the worst case for Dijkstrau algorithm for complete graph. Note that Dijkstrau algorithm may work and may not work for minus sign, weight, or in edges. So this is drawback of Dijkstrau algorithm. So here we can calculate another example. Here also we can create a table and calculate the total part by followed by Dijkstrau algorithm. Thank you.